All right, guys, what's up? We're back, episode 64 of the 580 show. Before we get into our guest this week, just want to give everyone a couple updates with 580. Um, we should be restocked with watermelon horsepower pre-workout in the next 3 to 4 weeks. If you're interested, we still have a couple for sale. So just reach out or go to 580barbell.com. Mixed berry should be done in about 6 weeks, roughly. So there's been a lot of people asking about it. Just hang tight. Definitely within the next 2 months, we will have mixed berry pre-workout. Other than that, I don't think I have any actual 580 news. I guess I can introduce our guest this week. Second place at Clash of Jersey. Joining us this week, Mr. Nick Hein. What's up, Nick? So how do you feel after last weekend?
Like I was saying earlier, my coach had me starting in on Wednesday to start training already. So my body's hurting.
Yeah. So I guess just getting right into it. I don't know how people expected you to finish it, Clash. I mean, I definitely knew you had a great performance at OSG this year. How do you personally feel with your performance this year at Clash?
At Clash, I mean, at OSG, I felt like I wasn't fully 100% myself. So going into that, I had no idea how I was going to perform. I had a little bit of an idea based off of, researching the guys, but I really had no clue. So I was excited to, starting with McKeegan, see what I could put up against these guys.
Was there one specific event that jumped out at you that you were like, man, I really like hit a home run on that event?
Absolutely. I mean, so we started off with pulling numbers out of a hat, and of course I pulled number one.
I was cracking up.
And a lot of guys will, get nervous about that. But if I'm sitting around and I'm number 12, I'm going to get more nervous. So going into that, I was excited. And I knew that the press was one of my best events. The circus is one of my better presses. So I thought that this was my opportunity to kind of set the stage, which I feel like I did.
For sure. I did like the way, because I was sitting there just for the rules, and I kind of liked the way they did that. Like, I thought that was kind of unique, smaller, light, middleweight show. There was however many of you guys, 13, I think, or 14.
Well, I think there was 12.
12.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of unique. Like, just pick names out of a hat. These are your lane assignments. This is who's going to go first. This is who's going to go last. And, let's just roll. But
yeah, I'm not sure if they do that for World's Strongest Man or what they do, but that was a new experience for me. Usually I've done USS comps and it's just based off of where you sign up.
Right.
So
talk about that a little bit. You went to class. This was your first Clash show. It was a regional show, and you obviously qualified for the big show. What did you think about Clash of Jersey?
Clash of Jersey, it was the best run show I've ever been to. I mean, probably my favorite part was that I was able to get onto that adrenaline rush and ride it the whole way through. I mean, I didn't have a chance to come down. Honestly, the yoke and the farmers, I felt like it was even a little bit rushed. Like, that was the one event that I felt like I wasn't ready to get into, But overall, it was a really well-run comp. Johnny pumped up the crowd. The crowd was crazy. And, I mean, every single time an athlete was up, the crowd had every athlete roaring. So
I thought the crowd was louder at Clash than it was at OSG personally.
It was so loud.
And the crowd was twice as big at OSG.
Yeah.
3 times.
But it's also a little bit of bias for you, because I think 1/4 of the crowd was Hein Strong people in Jersey.
That's true.
It was like every single person. Yeah. I thought too, being there, Johnny, obviously it's a little bit easier to run a show when you have 12 guys, but I think that's the positive of what Furman's trying to do with Clash, right? It's everyone earns their seat at the table. The best of the best are going to sign up for these regional shows and then go to the Clash on the Coast. But from just a viewership standpoint, like the equipment was top notch and it looked bad. Like the yokes, the farmers, the logs, the circus, everything just looked awesome. It looked like top notch equipment for the competitors. And then our buddy Eric Olmstead, who competed and did really good last week, he came in sixth and he posted everything he got from the show. And he's like, sixth place never looked so good. Right. It's like they really, really, really took care of your athletes. Like if you flew in for the show, you got a ride from the airport if you were an athlete, like to the venue. So it just looked like top to bottom, just such an awesome show, to be involved in.
You never see comps like that where you get rides in from the hotel or, bags, like nice bags all the way down to like 6th or 7th place, Yeah. Those are like $100 bags.
Yeah.
So I think all the competitors were happy.
Oh, it looked awesome. Frawley? Were you about to say something?
I was gonna. I think it was either Strength Collective or whether it was Furman. One of them shared a video of the audio whenever I think it was you versus Matt deadlifting, and just how loud and how like crazy the crowd was going because you guys were neck and neck, head to head on deadlifts, just going rep for rep, and it just like every rep it got louder and louder and louder and louder, and it was amazing. It was awesome. You don't hear that here.
It was so weird doing that because I didn't even hear anything from him. I didn't hear it. I was like, is he going? Yeah. So I'm like second rep, third rep. And I was like, did I start too soon? But I'm getting it down. I was like, I didn't know if I should keep going.
Right. Right. Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was raucous. And obviously it was very well run, like you're saying, but just the crowd. And there really wasn't a ton of people there, but it was just people who were really passionate about what they're watching. So
yeah,
awesome.
Our Hein Strong crew really, cares about the sport. And so they weren't just getting loud for me. They're getting loud for everybody.
Sure.
Yeah. It was cool.
Well,
yeah. Yeah, that was cool to see. Was that your favorite moment from Clash? Your deadlift, or was it you setting the tone on the overhead? What was your favorite event? Like, what was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment, it would definitely be between loading that sandbag and the circus, because I was like, see, the dumbbell I use in training, it's a little bit longer, so when I swing it down, I can just tap and go, and that one was shorter. So when I would go to swing down, I couldn't get my rhythm, so I got to like my 4th rep, and then I was into it, But I was really worried about the sandbag medley. I wasn't sure if I was going to finish it. I had never trained all those weights, and then I was basically training with a 265 and a 320 bag, and I would do what I could with that. But even still, then I never did like a 5-bag medley. Mm-hmm. So to load that 320 bag was really, really big for me.
Yeah,
right. It's impressive when you really look at the sandbag weights you guys were using too. Like to end with it, when you guys are 105, you're 231 pounds, and your last sandbag loading after loading 4 other sandbags was 320.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
I mean, in most strongman shows, that's a super heavyweight. That's a heavyweight, I should say, in general. Yeah. That's a heavyweight weight, and you guys are doing it middleweights as your 5th bag. So
yeah, getting that middleweight.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, they're definitely tough. And I knew that watching the few heats before me, there was a very small space between the arms of the yoke because the plates were still on. So if you drop that bag, there was no way you were getting it out of there.
Right. You're not picking it up.
Last 10 seconds, you weren't going to load it.
Right.
That's a good point.
Right.
I think I'm curious to see what you think. Did you follow the other regional shows? Like, did you follow like the Colorado, the Texas, and the Nashville one?
No, but I caught up really quick.
Okay.
I looked at all the results and I watched a lot of the videos, and I learned a lot from the guys who went before me. Watching Justin Loy do the yoke into farmers in 17 seconds. I mean, Michael Congdon doing the sandbag medley in 41 seconds. He had helped me and given me some guidance on that. So I didn't really know too far in advance. And really, I've become familiar with this class within, I would say, October, because I've
Right.
always been an athlete, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna touch on that. So like the first time I ever saw you compete, I was a judge at PA Strongest Man.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, I was a judge. Me and a couple guys from the gym went out there to help out, and I saw you compete as a heavyweight. Um, what made you like? What was your moment when you realized like, should I be going down to middleweight? Is just because you're only 5'8", or what's your?
First of all, 6 foot. I'll put my license out if you need me to. No, so I had actually competed at PA Strongest Man, and the next day, I call him Pops. He's David Johns. He's a mentor of mine, and honestly, he's definitely a father figure. But he told me I have to do it. He's like, you have to do this. I'm signing you up. I'm paying your way. And the next day, that Sunday, I just competed on Saturday. I went Sunday and I did. It was a 5-rep deadlift. It was a 3-rep log max and a sandbag. You know, it was the 265 run 20 feet down and back.
Yeah.
So that was my introduction to the 105 class. And I think I ended up 9th or 10th on the qualifier. So I barely slid in.
Wow. And you got 5th overall, right? This year at OSG?
Yeah, I held 4th till the very last event. And then my coach, Matthew McKeegan, he jumped in, and I mean, he earned it. He loaded that last stone in the medley. I think he was one of 2 or 3 guys to load that last stone. So
Wow.
Yeah, that medley looked like it was rough watching it live.
yeah, we were all.
Can you speak on one of the questions? I put up a little Q&A, and one of the questions was for you to speak on the difference between, as a competitor this year, competing at OSG versus competing at Clash.
Well,
Question.
what's that?
That's a good question.
Competing at Clash was, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was nervous. I didn't feel like myself that whole time I was there. So for me personally, it was coming into the 105 class, I was not prepared. My water cut was crap. I dropped 31 pounds in 3 days. I had COVID a week out from Clash. Or 2 weeks out from from OSG. And going into that, I didn't feel prepared. I was prepared through training. I had hired Anthony Deal, and he trained me well, and I did what I could. I got sick twice under his training, and I mean, I didn't feel like I competed at my best. So when I came into Clash, I had a totally different mindset. I felt that I had to prove myself that it wasn't a fluke. I do belong in this class.
Yeah.
To see what I really could do.
So will you go back? So you're obviously going to Clash in April, right? What are your plans to go back to OSG this year too and improve on how you did at OSG?
Oh, absolutely. I'll have 6 months from the time I'm done with Clash. And honestly, I've been competing nonstop and training to compete nonstop for about 8 months now. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to take a solid month off, but the next goal after that will be Clash or OSG rather.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like my point is, I mean, you said like you had COVID a couple weeks before and like you didn't feel like yourself. I mean, if you're coming top 5 in your debut in middleweight, I definitely excited to see you this year at OSG, like a full year. That'll be a full year for you as a middleweight, a good training peak for that. I mean, I definitely that'll be really exciting to see. So.
Oh, absolutely. And I heard there's a circus dumbbell ladder. So,
oh, really?
Ooh.
Yeah. Which will, the Rogue Monster Bells.
So
that's
for which I like those a lot. So for OSG, how many are they? Have they said this year how many they take for each class from the online qualifiers?
I believe 10.
10?
pretty sure still 10, yeah.
So top 10 from the previous year get invited? How do you how do you get to your final? How do you get to your 30?
Sorry, one more time.
How do you get to the 30 people that are invited?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Like I said, I was still new to that, so I have no
Yeah.
idea.
I
Oh,
believe. Go
I
ahead.
can fill in a little bit. There's national. If you win nationals for USS, you get invited.
Okay.
If you win, um, if you win Strongman Corp, you get invited.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's only two, but I'm not sure how the rest of them get invited. Maybe there's
Yeah.
other internet comps
Well,
that you can qualify.
yeah, I mean 10 from I guess it's probably filled in with international, right? That actually probably makes sense. 10 from
Yeah.
10 from the previous year, 10 from the online qualifier, and then like a couple from nationals, and then the rest would be on or overseas people, I guess. That would make
Yeah.
sense.
What, there's
But
30?
I'm not sure on that. I
I
believe
think
that
there's 30, isn't there?
Yeah, I believe that the international guys have to qualify through the online qualifier, though, because I was listening to the Q&A this week from the official Strongman games, and Lynn touched on that. He said, look, if you think you're going to get an easy road into OSG from the online qualifier, you better think again, because our international guys have to qualify through that. So I don't know if there's other invites as well that are given out, but I don't know that that's true. They might give out like direct invites if you win specific shows.
Yeah.
But he did mention that. So,
And they have just in the past, I know, like, I'm not trying to chirp them, but I know that they have like just invited people with no
Sure.
reasoning. Like, I mean, I don't want to say no reasoning, but they've invited like John Hack, just because like John Hack's obviously like a big name and
Really?
like could deadlift. Like, I know he's got invited like the last couple of years.
I had no clue about that, but
Yeah,
I mean,
I've seen his invite go out. But so yeah, it
on the
may just
website it said that they're, under their discretion,
Sure.
whoever they
Right.
felt,
Right.
plausible.
But
Cool.
no, I think it'll be super exciting to see you at OSG this year because you're talking like you came in like dead last, and like you were top 5 and like
Right.
probably at OSG one of the most. It's just such a competitive. Every class is gonna be competitive, but 105s is just taking off like crazy. So
Oh, it's that super competitive weight class where we're right under the heavyweight weights, but and speaking on, you talking about the way I was unhappy with my performance just because I knew I had more in me,
sure.
and I'm sure you guys can relate on that. Like I knew having COVID and having a tough weight cut. I mean, I weighed in at 105.0.
Yeah.
Like I just made the cut. So
Yeah, I mean, you're a competitor, man. Like when you know what your best, right? You know what you can bring to the table. And when you don't feel like you put out your best, you kind of always have that chip no matter where you placed. So it'll be interesting to see like when you do go through a good water cut and you do go through a good prep and it's like, okay, like I'm really bringing it this year. I got this one. So I dotted every I, crossed every T. I'm ready to rock. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's how I felt for Clash. I mean,
right.
the bed like 0.2 off, and I knew I was going to wake up, under. And I'm not sure if their scale was right on, but I weighed in like 2 or 3 pounds under, and I felt great. I mean, I was thirsty.
Sure.
Yeah.
But that was it. So
When did you get into strongman, Nick?
I actually had planned to do a RPS powerlifting meet, and it got canceled. And the next day, a guy came in and did a strongman seminar at a CrossFit gym I was at. My wife she had actually won a membership to that gym. That was 2017. And so pretty much from there, I was addicted, which I ended up being a strongman coach later on at that gym as well. So
Yeah, I was
Very
just
cool.
curious.
Yeah.
And then so when did Hein Strong open up?
So I had coached at that gym until 2000, and it was about a year, 2018. I went back to the oil field, and when I came home, I started up a class I always did strongman Sundays. So I opened up a class in my yard and in my garage every Sunday, free class. I just wanted people to come and train with me. And what was that? So it was 2018. Yeah, 2018.
Wow. That's interesting. And so is Hein Strong still where you guys started, or did you move to a new building from when you like that 2018?
No, so COVID hit, and in the meantime, well, actually, right before COVID hit, we knew that we were kind of at capacity. If it rained, I mean, I had a single car garage. We had 20 to 23 people, 24
Yeah.
people in a 1-car garage. And we knew we needed a bigger spot. So we actually moved across the street and down 2 houses into like an old sub shop. And we've been there since 2019.
Oh, that's cool.
Slowly growing.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, you run shows as well now too, right?
yeah, so we did our first Hein Strong Iron and Steel in 2020. So this year we'll be holding Hein Strong Iron and Steel 3. It is May 14th on Iron Podium. Get your signups in. And then August 27th is the 7th Beast of Bloomsburg. We picked it up. So the guy who got me into Strongman used to run a Strongman comp in the hometown where I'm at. And he ran that show for years, and we just picked it up for its 7th show. So we'll be running.
I used to come out. I did 2 powerlifting meets in Bloomsburg. They used to do a show at the college. I competed in that twice. Yeah. I used to run RPS shows in college. So, but yeah, that's exciting. But we definitely got to talk more. I know I've kind of talked to Dante about it a little bit, but having a booth, we own a supplement company, having a booth sponsoring the show and coming out.
Yeah, we'd love to have you out.
Yeah. May 14th.
May 14th, and if you want to come out, August 27th as well.
For sure, August.
Oh, but we had 64 athletes last year or 68 athletes. My wife's sitting here for our second Iron and Steel, and then this year we're still 2 months out, but we're hoping to get maybe 30, 40 athletes going. So
awesome. Yeah, I'd love to come out, have a booth, and just help however we can. So
right.
Absolutely.
Talk more about it. What else you boys got today?
I kind of wanted to touch on, and I kind of missed like the timeline, but I wanted to touch on your transition from heavyweight to middleweight. And what was it like competing as a heavyweight, and what kind of body weight were you sitting at? And what is your body weight now in comparison as a middleweight? Like, let's say a walking around weight, and then let's say like hey, I'm getting ready to start prep weight. So if you kind of want to run through that, I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. Yeah,
I mean, so when I was competing in USS shows, I was very comfortable around 265. Like we've been talking about, this is the whole 105 class is new to me. So, being able to, walk around at 255 would be great, but coming out of Clash, I'm definitely like 248. So, I mean, feeling strong, everyone wants to feel strong in training, and my press has definitely been suffering the most by dropping, 15, 16, 17 pounds. But, I like the athleticism in the 105 class. It's a totally different thing for me, because I mean, I definitely felt slow at 265, but at 248, I feel athletic. So.
And you've gotten into coaching a lot more. It seems like, I don't know if it's just because like people I follow, like, have you been enjoying like the online coaching stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I've been coaching for probably since 2018, but I had recently switched more to a monthly style programming. With social media, it's a little easier to advertise, but
sure.
I think as I progress as an athlete, it'll just get a little bit easier. But yeah. I have really good athletes coming along. Dante, I'm really excited to see him in PA Dutch. And I got a couple other really, really great potential athletes, David Johns, Cameron Peters. So we're really excited to see what Hein Strong can pull out this year. So.
Oh yeah.
You stepped on my joke. I was going to ask how bad of a client Dante was. That was all
Yes,
set up.
all of his coaches have.
Well, if you really want,
uh,
that's 300 a day.
What has Dante done anything to piss you off as a client yet?
you can be honest. Come on, tell us.
You can roast him.
I think I've done pretty well so far.
He's done really well. He has done really well. But I wake up and I have 47 messages from him. So
Give me a break.
I bet you there's a lot of grammatical errors in that as well. Dante texts exactly how he types. Nah.
I did accidentally call Nick today though, and I didn't know how to do it, like hang up. So I just shut my phone off.
He panicked. Talk to me, so he just shut his phone off.
He just panicked.
I don't want to bother you, but it was an
Because I'm such a he don't want to talk to me. Sorry, I should probably.
No, dude. If you listened last week, I was
Yeah.
hammered at the Newark airport, pissing Foley off. I promised my dad I wouldn't drop any F-bombs on this episode this week, so I'm gonna hold my promise.
Big Mike.
But yeah, it's cool. So roughly how many clients do you have right now? Are you taking clients currently?
Yeah, I'm taking clients. I mean, I do have a regular job. I'm a welder by trade, so
Oh wow.
I work 10-hour days, and but I still have like 16 or 17 clients at a time.
Wow.
I do too many at a time, but I think I'm taking on my 16th or 17th client this weekend. So
Wow, that's exciting. So if anyone's interested, hit up Nick, for coaching.
What's that?
I said, if anyone's interested, make sure to hit up Nick for coaching to inquire about it. If anyone's listening, looking for an online coach, if you're not like out near Bloomsburg where Nick's at.
Yeah. I like coaching a lot more than I like competing, which is weird, but, the growth of our team here in Bloomsburg has been my focus. And the last couple of years I've been trying to figure out how to grow our team. And that's why I started getting a little bit more serious in competing. But my focus has always been the people around me. So
you can tell that is genuine and it's reflected. Like it's honestly reflected. Like I said earlier in the pod, like I'm not joking. There was a lot of people last weekend with Hein Strong shirts on there to support you, so you've definitely done a good job like building your culture. What's your goal in the next couple of years for Hein Strong?
We've been talking about that a lot lately, actually, and we're trying to move into a bigger spot because we're kind of outgrown where we're at, but we're still a private gym. So we have like 24-hour access. We call them key holders, and we would like to move into a spot where we can put a little bit more equipment in. So as for the gym, that's where we're at.
Yeah, that's exciting. So do you have how many people go to Hein Strong? Like the actual physical location? Is it like roughly?
I would say 20. I mean, we've had classes up to 25 people.
Yeah.
I live in a small town in Bloomsburg, but I mean, I have a free class every Sunday at 11 o'clock, Bloomsburg, PA. And we get crazy. And I think we have a lot in common, Josh, just the way we, the vision we have. I mean, your gym's pretty large, isn't it?
It's getting there. We've kind of opened up like high school athletes. We have like a local high school, a bunch of kids come down. But yeah, we're very similar in the way we started. Very small gym. We actually started in a CrossFit gym in a little 10x10 corner, and then garage in our town, residential, and then a bigger garage, residential, and then just fell on a blessing of a spot that we're in now that it would be very hard to outgrow this spot. 7,000 square foot, and it's just an old bingo hall. And just really just fell on our lap. So it's amazing. So I have more space than I know what to do with right now, which it's a good problem, but yeah.
How far out from Pittsburgh are you guys?
About 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
We're like,
if that.
Yeah, we're like within 15 minutes of the Pittsburgh airport.
Yep.
So we're like on the west side of Pittsburgh. We're right by the airport. So like anyone flying in for like our show, it's a regional show in June, can like you'll be very close to the venue. It's extremely close, honestly.
I would love to come out and train with you guys sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
dude. Likewise. Actually, man, I feel like a dick. I don't even know how to say his last name. Mike, I call him Mike USS. Mike Russo. Yeah. How do you say his actual? Yeah, Mike Russo. I
It's
don't know.
Arizona.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his actual last name, but I was talking to him a couple months ago, and he was like, "Someone you should talk to is Nick Hein because you guys remind me of each other." And
Yeah.
yeah. Now I got to meet you. I actually first time ever talking to you in person. You let me use your scale last weekend.
Yeah. I was glad to help you.
Yeah, I was nervous. I weighed in. You were talking about that for OSG, I believe, but I weighed in at exactly 80.0.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Well, you were 2 pounds. Came into my room, 2 pounds over.
I went back to my room and just spit for 40 minutes straight.
You didn't go back and sweat?
No.
Oh my God.
I paced and I spit.
You spit 2 pounds out?
Allegedly. I mean,
dude, when I was at OSG, I didn't have spit from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. when I weighed in.
Jeez.
Yeah. See, like my thing is like my cut shouldn't have been hard. Like I was just a dick. I should have just sat in the sauna for another 5 minutes and sweat out the last 2 pounds. Like I was never like, I walk around like 183. So I was I walk around like 183.
Oh, okay.
So like I was never like really struggling. I just the scale at the LA Fitness had me under, and then I came back and I weighed in on yours and I was a little bit over. So I don't know. I should have just stayed in. I wasn't struggling in the sauna at all. I should have just done another 20 minutes and been safe, but I was just ready to come. In my eyes, I thought it was under already. So I just made it a little more difficult, but if I needed to, I could have went and sweat.
Yeah, you're still good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It honestly felt kind of good hitting it exactly though. Because a lot of times you guys know, like if you actually have to make weight, like you usually always undershoot it, right? Like just that nervousness and anticipation.
I did one weight cut before this. It was the first competition I ever did. And I dropped from 262 to 240 flat. That was my first cut.
Oh,
and so
really?
so then going from 261 down to 230 was a lot. It was a lot.
I've been trying to reinforce water cuts with Dante because he got me worried like a couple weeks ago that he didn't understand what a water cut is. And I'm like, you're cutting a lot of water. You need to like understand what this is. So I think he's starting to understand, but maybe just stay on him extra.
Nick just tells me to just do what he tells me to do, and I'll be good.
Well,
so I just do what he tells me to do.
That's the best Dante.
Yeah, well, but then he goes, "Are you sure?"
Well, like I remember originally you said like it was like different lined up, so I just wanted to be sure. I just wanted to make sure. I just like to be sure. I'm a sure guy. I don't know. I just like to be sure.
You can question me as much as you want.
I do think it's kind of like, I think it's good for Dante to have you too as a coach because you guys are Dante's like trying to follow exactly kind of what you did. He was walking around like maybe 270. And if you go to like a nationals this year, like you could tell he was if you put all the guys in his class in a picture, it's like he's the smaller of the spectrum for that class. Yeah. And it's like he definitely had a lot of fat to trim off. And like, so he got down, now he's like, what, like 250 Dante. Yeah. And you just literally cut last week, from 250 to 249 or something to 231. So you have that guidance. Maybe someone like myself or Frawley, like I've water cut for wrestling and for lightweights, but you guys are like literally mirror imaged in that aspect. So I think that's really important and cool that he has you for that.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here and help him. I'm excited to see what he does next weekend.
Yeah, I'm just hoping the strength stays up or isn't impacted that much, because I heard if it goes bad, it can drop your strength. But I'm being positive.
No, and if if you hit it the way you're going to, you'll feel fine. You know, you follow the plan, you flush the water out, and if you refeed correctly, you know, you're gonna feel great. Plus, you're rested, you're deloaded. You're gonna feel totally different on game day.
Right.
I have confidence in where you're at to where you're gonna be at PA Dutch.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Just that's one thing I try to tell people when they water cut is trust the process, right? I almost said an F word, sorry, Dad. But it screws with your head when you are loading water, right? So Nick, you're 250 or whatever, and you have that first big day of loading water where you're taking in like 2 to 3 gallons of water, and your weight actually goes up because you're consuming all that water. And I really think it can screw with your, like, if someone who's new to it, it can screw with their head. But if you water load correctly, you just have to trust the process.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, guys that drink water too long into that cut or cut it out too early, that's where you mess it up. You just got to trust the process and, follow the plan. And, I think once Dante sees it one time, he'll feel a lot more confident. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
especially since the next time I compete, I'm not going to start at like 275. So
Yeah,
I cannot 270.
yeah.
I was
I
heavy.
think you probably touched 280 there for a little bit. Right?
What was the heaviest you ever wore?
Nat's peak, I was 289.
289, and that was in October.
That was like the month or two before Nat's.
Can I have a picture of that?
I don't know if I have any pictures. I have like training footage though.
He was a thick
I'll take-
boy.
Well, Dante has the biggest head out of any human to ever create, like physically, not like egotistically big. Like he physically just has a humongous head. So at 230 on Friday, he's gonna look like a bobblehead when he's 231. I'm excited to see it. Nick, I gotta tell you sometime. I'm not gonna tell the full story, but the drive, I've never been so confused in my life as the drive to nationals, what was going through Dante's head. Like he's competing in heavyweight, but like trying to like kind of water cut and like starve himself, but he was a heavyweight, so he didn't have a weight to hit.
I was trying to get the subclass. I was trying to hit the subclass.
It was just I never was a part of something like that in my life. I was so confused. But
it's a story for another day.
Yeah.
I explained.
But Nick, another question that actually 2 people asked this. What point in Strongman did you realize that like you had potential? Was it really early on? You did your first show that you were talking about and you're like had a good baseline of strength, or like, when did you realize that you can be a top level guy?
You want me to be completely honest?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that sounds like the answer you're probably not expecting, but I'm just really hard on myself. And when Dave signed me up for that comp, I was like, I can't do that. I won't match up with those guys. And then I get 10th, on the qualifier. Then I go to OSG and I get 5th. And I was like, oh, I for some reason I just still wasn't happy, and I was still, being hard on myself. I don't think that I've ever really thought, oh, I'm a top level athlete. You know what I mean? But after Clash, I mean, I feel like I'm starting to earn that spot now.
For sure.
But like I've earned it yet. And I'm not trying to sound humble. I'm literally just, that's how hard I am on myself. So
yeah, that's sometimes really good thing though. I mean, that's, hungry dog runs faster. Did they ever show just bouncing back to Clash real quick? This is just curious, came on my mind. Did they ever show the final point standings?
No, I did Herman about it, and because they had posted it for Clash of the Corral. I think they posted it for one more, and then the third qualifier, they just put up the placing. Well, they might have put the points, but they didn't put the breakdown for the third one. He just said that they didn't do that anymore, and I respect his decision. And all that really matters is that, I made it and I get to go to Clash. But no, I don't think they're going to, but I would like to see it.
Yeah, I would love to see it. Like, I think of the four, I think this was probably the most competitive since it was the last one. I could definitely be wrong. I don't follow, like I follow all of Strongman, but I don't know every single guy in the 105s. But it really seemed like from top to bottom, it was such a competitive class in Jersey, like insanely close. And I was curious to see how close you were to Jeff Lee and like how close you were to that top spot and how close third was to you. And I just kind of wanted to see a point breakdown.
Well, I know that at the fourth event, there was a 4-point breakdown between me and Nate, and then me to Jeff. So realistically, it was almost anyone's game, but Jeff had really dominated the last few events. He tied for first on the deadlift, and then he won the sandbag, and he came out and just dominated that stone event. I was a little delirious at that point, so I was out cleaning. I had smacked. But yeah, Jeff 100% earned that first place position,
Yeah. But like you said, though, once you guys get to Hilton Head, it's going to be everyone has zeros and everyone, that's going to be really cool to watch. That's going to be really cool to watch.
Before I got on with you guys, my wife and I were watching last year's, and I didn't know that it was all in sand, like the loading medley.
Right.
Yep. Keg over bar. And I started thinking, like, I better find a beach to train on.
Yeah. A little sandbox at Hein Strong.
Well, she said moon shoes. My wife said moon shoes. You ever see those?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like the 90s.
I think I actually do know what you're talking about.
They have rubber bands on them.
I gotta look them up. But yeah, it's like kind of flashback to like some of the old school world's strongest man. Like they used to do like stuff on the beach with like Big Z, like running through water and sand with a sandbag.
Yeah, that was miserable.
It's hilarious. Dude, there's a video of Big Z face planting in water with a sandbag. It's that was funny.
I was missing that last load.
Yeah, that was Brian too.
Yeah. No doing that in water.
Yeah. Did you guys follow the Arnold this weekend at all?
Oh my gosh, yeah. We were watching Lacey's destroy the last event.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the last event yet, but I saw this. I saw the things. I got to watch it back.
What's the placing now? Do you know?
I don't want to spoil it.
One
Novikov got second, and who got third?
Crap.
Was it Stoltman?
Kearney was in third.
Kearney got fifth overall.
Was it Stoltman?
I was surprised with how
it was
Stoltman did.
It was Luke. Luke got third.
I got the final results. Yeah, Luke Stoltman got third. Bobby Thompson. Actually, Bobby and Luke tied for third.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
They tied for podium, 30.5 points each. And
Mm-hmm.
then
they went to a breakdown for that last event for who scored the points in a certain amount of time.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might be on the YouTube.
It was 1 point to lap, and it was 10 points to chest, and then it was 100 points to shoulder.
Yeah. The point breakdown for the last event was Lisi's got 200 points, Novikov got 110, Thompson got 100, and then everyone else got 20 or lower, and 3 people zeroed. So
yeah, Novikov pulled off a rep to shoulder, and I think it was like a 2 minute and 30-second event or something, and Novikov pulled off a rep in like the last 20 seconds.
Dude, Novikov doing that circus was insane.
Yeah.
275-pound circus dumbbell for 7 reps.
7 reps. Unbelievable.
You guys see him at the Invitational?
Did we see him where?
At the Rogue Invitational?
He did. Yeah, he did really well too.
Yeah,
he destroyed the.
Yeah.
I definitely think they're gonna rethink the squat event for next year if there's a squat, because it took 3 hours to do 10 guys max squat
for 3 attempts. Yeah, ridiculous.
It was insane. I'll followed the Arnold amateur too. two guys that have been on this pod a couple times, Cody Abel and Andrew Haynes in the lightweight. They take 4 for the Arnold Amateur to the final day.
How did Andrew?
Andrew's in first,
Oh my God.
and Cody Abel got the 4th and final spot for lightweight men. I think Andrew's in first or tied for first. Right, he's right in that mix. But
He's an ass.
dude, he is an animal. He scared me this week watching his Instagram. If you guys saw his cut, dude, I never seen a human with his face was so sunken in from his water cut.
Yeah.
It was it was nuts. But our girl Kate Gutwald, I know she didn't finish where she wanted to, but I'm still super proud of her. She's still in the top half of the strongest. It's the biggest amateur show, like, you know, and everything like that. Getting there, it's probably one of the hardest qualifying things you can do. And, you know, she did great. So definitely shout out to her too. But it's cool. Even for the amateurs, I don't know if you guys saw, the backdrop and everything was so much cooler than normal this year.
It looked good. It looked good.
It looked amazing this year. So
it looked really good.
I hope they continue. And from what I heard, the live stream was really good for the amateurs. Like, you can purchase a live stream. I heard they stepped it up and it was a really good live stream.
Well, that's
I'm
good.
super pumped to hear about that. But
Cool.
yeah. Nick, where can everyone find you at? What, you have anything else to plug or anything?
No, I mean, I think I covered the comps. We're doing Iron and Steel, Hein Strong Iron and Steel. You can find that on Iron Podium, May 14th. And then again, Beast of Bloomsburg is August 27th. You can find me on Instagram at Hein Strong. That's pretty much it.
Are you going to be in Lancaster next weekend?
Yes, I will.
Awesome, man. We'll see you there.
Yeah.
Dante.
We have a supplement booth too, and we got a bunch of people from our gym competing. So
Yeah, I want to try your pre-workout. I heard.
Yeah, we got to get you to try it.
Did you like the Grip Mountain that I sent you? Did you try that yet?
I did try it. Is there like a rose smell to it, or?
Yeah,
it smells good, doesn't it?
It smells good.
No, I just wasn't ready for it. I kept like, I didn't know where that smell was coming from. I never use I never used a liquid chalk that had a smell to it. It was like rose or something.
Now you have.
Well, Nick, thank you so much for joining us, man. I really appreciate the time. Congratulations on Clash. We'll be rooting for you at the big Clash.
Hilton Head.
We'll be hanging out with you next weekend. We should have just done a live episode with you next weekend. But you're gonna be on 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely, man. But thank you so much for the time. And
absolutely having us.
Yeah, everyone, thank you so much for listening. As always, you know, if you guys could go to our YouTube 580 Barbell and hit the subscribe button, and Instagram, give us a follow there. Check out horsepower580barbell.com. Thank you guys so much.
See you guys. Peace out.
Later.